All right, enough dilly-dallying. Let's go ahead and get started. Living on the edge, I didn't restart my machine before streaming, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I kinda... Yeah, I'll do some more pathing in here first, but I do want to do some object placement. Let me go ahead and check out. Check. Pick it up. Okay. Cool. Checking out FB props. Hey, Death by Gnomes. What's up, Poop Maker? Hey, Chili Sauce. Thanks for the heads up. I'm assuming that was you. What are the green things? These indicate a spawn point, so we can choose between point spawns. It's at the highest level, what it is it's a graphical representation of data. It's tools that we've built into Unity to access, basically to write into our database. Oh wow, and then showing this like that, I've basically minimized everything. Wonderful. Okay, there we go. Hey, Quick Sauna. Hey, Sarenth. What's up, Red Cloud? No, I've minimized everything. Let me unminimize everything. And hey, John. So basically, what you're looking at here is just our interface that we've created. A lot of this work, I don't think all of it, but a lot of this work has been done by Keith. And so we've got these custom tabs that are all part of our M&M specific tools that we've created in Unity, and that allows us to then basically take in NPCs out of our NPC spawn table. Let me turn this down. I get to turn this music probably a little loud, especially during this part of the song. And so basically it's just once we've created NPCs and NPC spawn groups or encounter tables, however you want to describe it, then we hook them up to spawn points here, and we can use spawn points, we can use spherical volumes, or we can use cube volumes. And what am I working on today? Quicksana asked. Continuing to populate this zone. And so another neat tool that's helpful is if we come over here to spawn editor. I think this was mainly Chip maybe that's done this one. So like all of this orange, all this orange is numbers that are these are all just the numbers of spawn point or spawn volume. But it's handy when you're working with so many of them in a zone. These zones are really, it's funny, the more I work in these zones, I can see like they're just crazy. Each one of these zones is like, this zone's got the content of, when people are like, how many zones do you have? Like, I think we posted the name of like, what, 12, 13, 11 zones that we want to take into early access. But like, this zone has got easy, lowballing it easily, 3 zones worth of content if you're looking at something like an old school classic EQ zone. So anyways, yeah, all these little orange things are spawn point. It's the numbers for them. So this super handy tool, fucking love it. Good job Chip, good job Keith. Allows us to rein in the, like, basically the culling distance on these guys, so it's not as spammy when we're looking. And then what you're seeing here is the little guys, I just call them like goblins. The little balls here with points. The nose lets you know what they're facing. And then these little cones are go-to indicators. So you can tell they're going to go to these points and then maybe do stuff. Pretty straightforward. Thorfinn, hello. Wrong Warp, hello. Mondus, what's up, soldier? Cool. Yeah, and so the behavior that we should see, it's actually been a little while since I've just loaded up the game and popped in here and looked at what I've been populating. But we've got these ratmen that live here, and there's actually two different types of ratmen. The Skrivar and the Marhua. And all ratmen start as Marhua. And then they can devolve into the Skrivar when they're linked to their community and, like, you know, basically in working together. They're Morhua, and they're just kind of these normal ratmen. You find them all over. You know, Ether, especially Aetheril. But when they lose touch with their community, like, some of them just kind of go bad, and some of them, you know, wander off or whatever. And when they lose touch with their community, they start to devolve, and they turn into the Skrivar. And then Skrivar will join up together, but they're still so, like, self-serving and nefarious, and you know, what, I'm losing my English. Anyways, they're essentially, they're less about you know, the good of the community and more thinking of themselves. So they'll work in pack, but they never trust each other, and they're violent, and they turn into cannibals, and they're just kind of, they're gnarly. So yeah, that's the difference between the two ratman types that we've got in here. And you'll see the Skrivar actually enslave the Marhua and make them work for them, because I'm not gonna spoil too much, but the Marhua have a special ability. They have a special scent. And when they devolve into the Skrivar, they lose that connection. And so, but the Skrivar know to exploit them. And so they're over here, and they've got a camp here, and they've got a big camp in here, and they're doing some stuff. And they're doing some stuff for these smugglers that you can encounter over here. So there you go. That's some rat stories for you. Jasmine started singing a song because she thought the lyrics was Ratman. It's not Ratman, babe. It's not. That song is 90s song. I'm a Ratman. No, it's not Ratman. It's like, what is it? Gatman, that's what it is. Is there a Rat King? And is it named Robert? No. New York size rats? They're pretty big. I don't know if they're as big as New York size rat. All right, so what I've got is a bunch of temporary points. I just plopped them in here because I have an image of what's going on. You'll see these rats carrying stuff from a kind of a pile here. I'm gonna get rid of these cages, and we'll have boxes and stuff. They've been loading stuff into here, and then the rats that are up here loaded into here, and then we've got a few ratman slaves that are carrying it down into here, where then the smugglers are taking it and they're taking it down for their ship. You were voted Rat King by senior high school class? Really? What was that about? Your character's rags look more ragged. Yeah, we've got new ragged clothes technology that's been integrated. Darius. Very high tech. Alright, so we got a guard there. Save him. Over here. Will there be werehumans, rats that are cursed to turn into humans at night? I guess in theory we could do that, right? We just have to reverse the spawn tables. And how would you? But would they be were-rats that turn into humans, or would they just be rats that turn into humans? That would be rat wares, you're correct. Hey, Brown Butcher, what's going on, dude? Haven't seen you in a while. Are you okay? You've been busy. Life has been pretty bad. Well, that's no fun to hear, dude. Are you okay now, or is it still like in progress? Man, it sucks because sometimes when life is bad, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen fast, right? Like it actually takes a while. It's like it's bad and it stays bad. Anything you can share, or are you good with like a general? It's bad. That's what we're here for, homie. We're here to talk whenever, and even if there's not a stream, man, pop in a Discord. Or if you need anything, just hit me up. Shoot me a DM. Have you ever DM'd me? I think I've covered a pretty good range of like bad over the years. So if you need anybody to talk to, let me know. What's up, Justin Beard? Hey, Fractal Hats, how's it going? So like this guy here, I changed what NPC is gonna spawn at this point. Switched it from being a Scrivar guard to Morhua. And then I'm gonna have him spawn immediately. When he spawns, he's going to wait for like 12 seconds. And then he's going to go to, and then I can click move to click, which will just, or sorry, click to move to click, no, move to click, yeah. And now I can move it to here, or I can do it manually. I can have them come over here, and they added this nice facing thing on here for us, so we can face him exactly how we want when he stops. It used to just be he would face kind of direction of travel. Just nice. It's more details. Brown Butcher said, "Glad to see you're still streaming." I am. I missed a number of streams in recent week. I don't know. In June we came out of the playtest. I think afterwards maybe I took a little bit of, I can't remember if I was streaming. Yeah, okay. And then I tried to be relatively consistent, even though it was summer because the weather's been bad, so whatever. Then, like middle of July, Jasmine had 2 weeks off, so I was kind of skipping out on streaming to hang out with her. Then my dad died, and so that ate up a bit of stream time. I didn't stream that week, and I don't know if I streamed the following week. And I think last week was the only time I think I streamed one day because that was fairly recently. And so, and I'm just now getting the VODs posted. But no, not my cat, my dad. Oh no, I appreciate it. And those of you that were, because I mentioned that's why I wasn't streaming, and people were very sympathetic and stuff on Discord. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's been my last month. So like I said, I kind of get it. Sometimes life kind of hits you a little bit. So like I said, Brown Butcher, if you need to reach out to somebody, hit me up. I've been divorced 3 times. I just went through this. I've had all sorts of shit happen. So if you need a homie to talk to, I'm a good listener. And that's one of the things I learned in rehab. Oh yeah, I went to rehab. But I hope it's nothing serious, man. I hope it's shit that is kind of the normal stuff. And I hope you got support on your end. But like I said, if you don't, you know where to find us. Sometimes it's good not to even talk about stuff, man. It's like, let's talk about video game shit. That's fine. So is it Minadan or is it Mine Aiden? And when I see mine, I live in Germany, so I see mine in a name, I'm like, that sounds kind of German. How's the meat these days? It's still roasting. You gonna be able to come into the stress test tomorrow, Brown Butcher? Those of you that aren't aware, we've got a stress test tomorrow. I want to check some of the recent changes to the various things. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow, buddy. Man, you gotta check in on Discord. What's going on? Old EQ name, Minadan, whatever. Fair enough. That makes sense. Was the original one? Oh yeah, okay. I just reread your sentence. The original random name. I was like, was the original one generated? Justin Beard, how's your weather situation looking like? Hopefully your weather situation holds up and you don't lose your power or anything. You can hop in tomorrow, Justin Beard. Brown Butcher said, "Oh man, I have plans to see my cousin. Special Olympics team's having a picnic. I'm going to be the guy in the dunk tank." Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, man, dude, we'll have more. Don't worry. We'll have more. Don't sweat it. That sounds like a good time. family time is good time as well. Does everyone still have their characters from previous tests? I'll be honest, previous tests can mean fairly previous. As far as I know, it's just the previous test, but the previous test might have been built on top of a previouser test, so I don't know how many generations it goes back at this point. All right, that's good to hear, Justin Beard. We're gonna delete that, save that. Maybe have this guy doing a similar thing. Ishiritare, wie geht's? Ich glaube, du bist ein bisschen früher heute. Keine Arbeit heute oder kommt es noch später? There he said, oh, I understood some of that. Tight. Doesn't McDonald's have electricity? If the electricity goes out in the neighborhood, does the McDonald's hook you up with like some free milkshakes or something? Community service. Isan, guten Tag, mein lieber Herr. Alles gut bei mir und selbstverständlich war ich arbeiten. Frühstück 6 bis 14 Uhr. Ah, schön. Bist du jetzt fertig für der Woche oder gibt noch etwas Samstag? Well, I'm practicing my German right now. Watch out. Watch it. Jawohl. Ich bin fertig für diese Woche. Schön. Awesome. Ishiwatari is done working for the week. Everybody congratulate Ishiwatari. He since I just practiced all mine. Justin took several years of German in high school. Don't remember anything other than like Guten Tag. Guten Tag, my friend. How about everybody else? Everybody else done for the week yet? Or most of you still still finishing up your workday. Brown Butcher says Justin should open a McDonald's in game, sell low quality meats and tea. Super sugary tea, delicious. Darius got to work tonight. Oh man. John gets no days off. Good, it builds character. Speaking of language, G-Stan said, I have been taking Norwegian on Duolingo for 2+ years. It's finally starting to make sense. Awesome. I think Norwegian is close enough that Jasmine kind of understands that because she speaks pretty decent Swedish at this point. But I don't speak any taktamika. Jag talar inte svenska. That's what I got for you. Darren is finishing up my work day. Took Monday and Tuesday off for a nice 4-day weekend. Smart move. Fractal Hats has a 3-day weekend. Got rained out today. Nice. If that's what you're looking for. Getting distracted is still working. Trying not to be my namesake. Fair enough. Nicodemus asks, mind if I ask her, as you're placing NPCs pathing, what are you thinking about during placement? I'm picturing it. Like, is maybe as kooky as that sounds, I'm just picturing what this looks like. I try to picture it from kind of like this perspective view, like looking at the little busy bees run around. And every once in a while, you may see me do this number, because I'm trying to get a feel for what it would look like if I'm a player. But right now, because this doesn't have props and stuff, I'm picturing where they are and like their movement. And you see how they're like coming up here and stopping and pausing for a second? I want to put props here that then convey what they're doing there. So that's what's going on. And when I'm picturing like this, I know that this guy is a Skrivar. And so it's one of the Skrivar guard spawn list. And it's the Smuggler who also turns into a Wurbat. So I'm just picturing them as a scene of them like talking and hanging out. Right. So that's kind of what's going on. And like I said, we've got Skrivar lugging goods down here into the staging area, and then we've got them moving some stuff over. It's kind of divided between smugglers and Skrivar, and the Skrivar are handing goods off to the smugglers, and then the smugglers are going to pick them up, and you'll see these guys are going to be walking down the tunnel and sort of passing them along to other guys that walk down the tunnel. So that's what I'm picturing when I'm doing this. And it just takes a little time to develop the picture initially. So it's a little bit of looking or whatever, and then it's like, okay, let's start moving the pieces into place. Brown Butcher asks, is everybody from the team last year still around? Zukin, Rob, Luna, or Nick? Everyone but Luna. Zukin's still streaming, as a matter of fact. Robert is getting a little bit of sun and water because he lives in Finland, and you know, the Scandinavians, they will go out and get as much sun as humanly possible when it's available, because when it is the other like 8 months of the year, it's pretty dark and miserable. I can say that because I lived in Sweden for 3 years. I thought it was a joke at first. People are like, oh, when summer comes around, we take 6 weeks off vacation to get sun. And I'm like, yeah, that seems excessive. And then that first year, I experienced the darkness, and I was like, the next year I was like, oh shit, every day I can, I am in the sun. I am outside. I'm getting fresh air. I'm getting sun. This is bullshit. This darkness is quite excessive. Hello, Nicholas. Dragon said, I'm sad. Wife's birthday party is right in the middle of the playtest. Why be sad? Just sit right in the middle of the party. Establish your dominance. Don't even use a laptop. Like, sit right in the middle of the party with your PC and monitor, and just like, they can come and look and see what you're doing. Have them bring you snacks and cake and drinks, and you just, boom, sit there. Yeah, put it on the TV. Like, what are we watching for the party? You're watching me play. We're stress testing right now, people. No joke. Yeah, exactly. Spread the word. Be an ambassador. Turn it into a LAN party. Surprise, babe. Your birthday party theme is LAN party. Aren't you thrilled? I enjoy sex and not fighting. Whatever, weirdo. What kind of combo is that? I said establish dominance. She'll love it. If it goes into the US evening, I might be able to pop in. Brown Butcher, it's going to go for a bit. So definitely keep it on the radar if you get back. If you get back and you're not too soggy from being dunked in the tank, then hop in and check it out. Oh. Nicodemus asks, is it important how important is it to put negative space between spawn groups? Does it give players a rest between combat areas? Is it just feel saying how an area flows? Typically, yeah, right? I mean, you'll usually be piling up and like creating spacing. And again, I mean, this is just what I know, or what I think I know, right? Like, this is maybe the way I used to do it and have done it in different games, but who knows if it's the ideal way. We're not super formulaic. I think we get into a weird situation if we start being formulaic and saying like every camp requires X number of NPCs. I mean, that might be the ultimate best way to keep things balanced. If you're looking at formulas where it's like each camp has X number of NPCs, there's X amount of variety, class variety, and these role types are represented and all this other shit. But I don't know. It kind of feels like that wouldn't be the vibe we're shooting for. Instead, it's a mix of gameplay and aesthetic. It's a mix of gameplay and feel, right? And so some places will be a little more dynamic than others, right? Like depending on where you are. And that's one of the things that you can do. You can actually layer in a variety of like sort of challenges and puzzles, right? You don't see it here, but this guy is actually wandering around in there, right? So it's not as static as it looks. But it's you can set up areas that are essentially camps that are broader distribution, right? So it's not like just breaking into, you know, like, hey, I've got these 5 every time or whatever. Every camp is 4 or 5 or 3 or whatever. But it's fun to maybe set up some camps that, depending on the timing as well, may be a little bit harder to break if you're going to break it there. But like this guy wanders off and he goes all the way through this whole area, right? So he's not really a factor. These guys are static. This guy's moving around with this other guy, so he might be an ad if you're breaking this area initially. And then you've got another guy that's moving around that could get into the mix, right? And then once you've got it sort of established, which for this, it's not hard to establish. You just got to get these two, depending on the timing. Then you've got, you know, you've got a nice handful. Like I said, this one guy's just going to be gone after spawn, but he also wanders way off. So if he's not there when you first break it, he may get killed somewhere and then just kind of pop in, surprise, right? So, but now you've got, you know, a nice little pile of, what is that, winds up being 6, fairly consistent in this area, right? So that could wind up being a camp depending on how populated the area is and kind of what, are you a full group? Are you just a duo? Are you 3 people? And so, yes, John, odd numbers are more visually appearing. Even numbers always kind of weird me out a little bit. Getting distracted said, I appreciate smaller camps when I'm solo or just with another. Exactly. And I think that's one of the fun things about the way that old EQ used to work and, you know, some games work, is where you have this situation where you can go, even if you're planning on being in this zone, but you're still pulling together a party, right? And you're like, oh shit, it's just me. Where can I go? Okay, I can get these guys, especially if I'm a, you know, certain class, whatever, necromage, whatever, or just clever, or bit OP, who knows. But then if it's like a duo, it's like, oh yeah, we can hit this up while we wait. And you know that even within this theme, right? Especially if like these Screevar are dropping certain things that maybe you want to get off Screevar in general. And so we've got a variety of different places where you could wind up hitting up Screevar. Now you're not going to maybe hit like a named or something, or maybe you are, depending on like how we've got that set up. But then as you add more people to your group, you're like, oh, hey, we can flex over to here and maybe take this other camp or whatever, right? So it's a mix, man. Like, and I think the more texture that we have, the more organic the game feels, and it feels, again, more like a place than just a game. And it also will provide those emergent opportunities for the community, because the community will actually, then we provide the texture, right? Like the variety, and then the community will start to show us, like, is something just cheesy? You know, does it suck? Is it just a bad idea? Or hey, it does provide opportunities for the soloer versus the duos, you know, like full groups have an interest in being here. Once a group, maybe this zone gets saturated because there's just a lot of groups coming in here in this level band. And it's like, okay, and it's got some nice spots where you can start to see people segment out, and it's worthwhile to own one camp, but it's doable to run multiple camps, right? So it's shit like that. You know, that's the thought. And then some of this is also just maybe an attempt at storytelling. We'll see if that winds up being the case. You know, like if you're like, oh wait, I noticed that these guys are behaving in this way, I can kind of piece together what's going on. Bill says, my concern is the new designer is overwhelming a group. I think I'm thinking in my current work in Cinder Beetles is having some beetles like scouts and warrior types being aggressive players, but others maybe drones that only attack when provoked. Thinking about how ant colonies work in nature. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to take real life inspiration to justify behavior like that, because I think, especially if the naming makes sense and stuff, players may piece that together as well and kind of figure out what's going on. I mean, they're going to figure out just from conning or seeing if something aggro's or not, but you know what I mean? Like, it'll work together. And dude, the thing you shouldn't do is like overthink it. Do your best, do what you think makes sense, and then when we have playtests and stuff, especially as people get higher level, or you know, as we're in early access, just go in and see how people are playing your work, or if they're avoiding it, or if they're going in, they're just getting fucking trounced each time, then you know, and then you tweak it. I mean, we can tweak stuff. It's data. It's easy to tweak. So it's better to just act and go. And then if you've got a concern, make a mental note and go, hey, I want to come back and see how people play this. Or if we're having a stress test, you know, and we've got some people available or whatever, hell, like if at some point you should just grab us and go when we're around and we're playtesting, be like, hey, can you up your level a bit and let's go play the quarry, and then you can check it out. You'll get feedback, right? Or, you know, I say we, but I mean, I'm in and on less than like Nick or whatever. Nick's in here. Grab Nick and the guys and go, hey, let's go play this and see what it feels like. DJ ask Robot, can you say if there will be a wipe for the stress test this weekend? I believe we're using the characters that you used previously, so shouldn't be. Openobo says, I miss this old way of thinking about camps with pats and static mobs, etc. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear. I do think it is something that, I don't know. Sometimes it can kind of be overlooked in games. Where was I? I had somebody doing something. He was not supposed to wander in a volume, that's for sure. If I had to guess, he was pausing. I try to give like these pauses since there's going to be a lot of activity sort of going back and forth in here. Just give them a bit of a variance around the 10-second mark, right? 3, 13, 11, just to help them kind of stay mixed up. Too many games now are static mobs, or they have paths that really don't matter. Yeah, that's the other thing, man. Like putting in paths is fun when you think about how that might like accidentally sneak up on somebody if they're camping, right? And they kind of forget, oh yeah, this guy's pathing. These are pretty straightforward, but some of the other ones can get you. In the bandit camp in, I almost said Oasis, Freudian stuff. Shaded Dunes. I even like was kind of trying to path some of them around behind the tents and shit, like a little sneaky path. I don't know that matters, but I thought it was fun. Anyways, these guys are moving boxes around. That's their whole story. So, which one am I dealing with right now? 66. He's somewhere here, huh? We'll see in a second. Go to move to click. That is not who I wanted to. Oh, it's because I had that dude. Oh, I know what I was doing. He actually was supposed to wander in that volume. Oops. I forgot I was showing something off and then we'll fix it. Wander in volume. Let's give him a pretty high pause chance since this is more dramatic effect than anything. Pause duration. Yeah, because this guy's, if I remember correctly, he's like degenerating from Morhua to become a Scrivar, because these guys are like actually helping or forcing them to degenerate to add to their ranks. So yeah, that was not the guy I was working on before. I had him when I was just showing some stuff off. All right, so back to wrapping these guys up. Right on, Bill. What does the bubble over to spawn mean? That bubble indicates that rather than just spawn in at a specific point, that was a spherical spawn volume, and it would spawn anywhere within that, and then we can reuse that same volume to define that as a wander spot. So he'll wander around in there. And so he's standing between 3 guys, right? And he's degenerating. So they're standing there and they're like, you know, poking them and being mean and just getting them to degenerate. And he'll stop. Like, so I tried to crank up the pause percentage here to like 90% chance that he'll pause for 8 seconds, give or take 3. So you know, he'll pause somewhere between 5 and 11 seconds. Right. So, and if I wanted to get really fancy and like, you know, very polished, if I'm not going to do it right now, but like I could do on pause, go to index, and then basically add another command here that's like a stay command, and it could be like an emote that's like discrevar, you know, blah blah blah, degenerating screevar, shakes his head and makes a hideous sound, and then loop it back into wander in volume, and then it'll keep wandering again. But it's also pretty frequent that he'd be making that emote, and it's kind of annoying. Every game just wants you to one-shot 12-pack of mobs solo. I mean, but that's... Dude, we had that conversation in early EQ a ton, right? We're like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if you got a ton of mobs coming at you and you're just fucking blasting them and they're killing them and you're, you know, like, whatever, like, AoEing, killing everything, and it's like, oh yeah, well, and then it's, alright, so then it just becomes a bunch of AoE groups and blah blah blah, and then do we down tune their hit points and all this other shit, and yeah, so... But I think, you know, in keeping with the more ARPG feel to MMOs, it makes sense that they do that. That's my thought, at least. But you know, what do I know? All right, let's get these guys going. We'll just have this guy kind of standing. Oh, not on that axis here. I love it. I love it. I start streaming and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of discussion in Slack. I'm like, okay, I guess I can check this at 11:30. All right, 1 second, guys. One more second. Hey, Zukin. All right. Hopefully those of you watching the VOD, when I go quiet like that, you're able to hear the music well enough that it's worthwhile. This is Fallen Pass, Brown Butcher. Yeah, it's funny. I was like, I thought, I looked over and I had like 20 notifications on Slack, and then I pop in there and it's literally 2 messages. I'm like, oh, maybe not. Slack is goofy, but I can't complain. It's a good tool. This project wouldn't exist without Slack. Gnome should have a Danny DeVito finger blast emote, just saying. I told you that one of my old bosses, his wife, well, I guess she's ex-wife now. She had never played EverQuest before, and she made a gnomish sorcerer. And she named the character, it was a gnomish wizard, and she named the character Finger Blaster. And got her name changed like immediately. Hilarious. No monks for the win. I don't disagree with you. Maybe eventually. I've already animated a gnome monk. The animations are finished. I animated a gnome monk years ago. It's finished. It's ready to go. It's ready to ship. They can kick. I animated it. He jumps in the air and kick. He jumps up very high. I was like, we should put gnome monks in the game as a special unlock, a quest. And the team said they piled on me. They said, "Don't you do it, Sean. Don't do it." And so that's why it's not in yet. John, you don't know anything about gnomes. You should stop. You should stop while you still have a head. No monks if Ogre Inquisitors are a go deal as unlock. Dude, I'm cool with tons of unlocks over time. Absolutely super pleased with it. You guys have already started unlocking stuff. I can't find the thread in Discord anymore. If somebody would find it and link it, that would be helpful. I haven't gone back in, and whenever we post an update, like, people mention typos, and I was fixing legit typos, and then people were like pointing out that the class page and the race page were wrong because there was stuff listed or not listed that's in game, and I'm like, well, if it's on the website, that's the actual source of truth per what we agreed to before. And so I was like, I'm not fixing those. I kept meaning to like mention that we should figure that one out, but I keep forgetting. What's up, Keebs? Hey, Chudster. Looking forward to tomorrow as well. I'm excited to see what happens. Brown Butcher, the meat is still on the screen, yes. You just have to patch up. You can see it for yourself, buddy. Excuse me. I love this music so much. Can you guys hear it well enough? I was watching a VOD the other day. I don't watch them. I just watch them long enough to remember what the VOD was about, so that I can post it to YouTube and try to ballpark the description. And the music was really loud, and I was like, oh, sorry about that. Can we get a turducken on a spindle? That could be a stretch goal, maybe. One of these days, we'll have stretch goals, and we'll let the community vote with their wallet. Like, if we have 300 subscribers, we'll add a turducken. Pineapple pizza and game win. I saw an interesting short video the other day where someone had taken pineapple rinds and made a shield out of them, and it was fireproof. It was literally had the power to stop dragons. Could stop a dragon in its track. When you stream, where are you capturing music from? Robert's YouTube, asking for a friend who may want to use it in his stream. I just use our playlist and loop it. Cockatrice plus jackal plus chicken. Cockjacken. Oh. I'll put that recipe in, but it'll be a significant stretch goal. I'll sneak that one in. Just don't let anybody from the team know. Zukin heard nothing. Nick heard nothing. Bill heard nothing. Are mandrakes still in game? Mandrakes have never been in game. Or have they? John, you're a little randy tonight. I'm sure it's my fault. The French bull walker. Was he French? One of the most historic losses in Olympic history. Pole vaulting is a game of inches. Did you make that up or did you see that somewhere? You just made it up? And that's really solid, dude. Love cracking white. I mean, I forgot that about you. Between you and John, and there's a few of you that are just, we miss you too. See, the thing is, though, you're such, I mean, you're such the staple here that even when you're not here, you're kind of still here. So it's one of those things where it was never like, oh man, what happened? Is he gone? We know you're not gone. We know you'll be back. So it's like, yeah. Is I never even think about this, but like I kind of have resting mean face. I'm trying to not to say resting bitch face, just because I'm trying to be more family friendly. But I kind of do, and I'm like, I don't. Can you guys even see my face on here? Like, I don't know what level of detail this operates at, or how you guys watch it. Like, if I'm just thinking, man, I when my thinking hat's on, sometimes I get a little intense looking. I was having that conversation with Jasmine. Like, I'm not angry, my brain's operating. And it doesn't want to, ever. Over the years, I've probably just seemed like, so let me know in the comments below. In all seriousness, I make comments below comments, but we have a decent number of people that watch the VODs on YouTube. So if you're one of them, thank you for that. It's so odd to me, right? Because like me, the fun is being able to talk to you guys in real time and shit. So the fact that somebody would watch this and not be in here chatting and stuff is always kind of odd. Not that you're odd if you're watching this, but you know what I mean. Never thought that from my stream face? Really? I never seem bleh. Okay, well cool. Maybe that's better than I thought then. As long as people don't think I'm a big meanie. We were talking about something earlier. We were like in a huddle. I think Goblin like asked the question and he's like, I was just like, no. No. The answer is going to be no. Just no. Oops. Oh well. It was not meant to be so extreme. Have to duck now and again on stream, so I usually watch a VOD when I'm supposed to see what I miss. Oh, that makes sense. Plus, it's nice for noise and such while working. That makes sense. I would probably watch these VODs too if I was interested in this and not making them. But since I'm the one making them, I will not watch them. While that would be a good way to improve the quality of my streaming, because I would watch and make, like, if I was trying to be a content creator or a streamer for real, then I would have to watch my VODs and be like, how do I improve this shit? And take notes and improve. But unfortunately, I'm not quite that professional. All right, John. Good luck with the supply shopping. You need a soundboard to make your streams more zany and wacky with constant memes. I wish I had. I wish I was more dedicated. I hear shit all the time on like TV shows, or I hear quotes or whatever, or like on videos I'm watching, and I'm like, I would love to have that on a soundboard. And then I promptly forget it and go do something else. I could be up in the production values for you guys, but I'm not. I'm going to move this guy here. I'm going to take this guy, put him here where he was. Seeing how y'all make the game is awesome enough. Oh, thank you. Oh, oh. I was looking at. I was explaining something to Hamad earlier. Talked to him for a little bit today, and I was looking at like the difference between like R zones and then something like a EQ zone. And so, look, this is just a point of interest in this zone. This is one of many points of interest, right? In this village. So we got this village, and it goes back to the whole, like, how many zones do you have in game? So we got this village. Let me find... I found a cool thing earlier. Cool. We'll look at this guy. All right. So this is Crushbone. Right, so you can see the dot, the spawns. And I mean, this is basically how we do it, right? Boop, 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 100%. Boop. 20, 30, 25, 25, 25. Boop. Warlord, 25, 75. Warlord Emissary. Right, okay. And then... I mean, shit, probably the same number of spawns here as all of Crushbone. So yeah, it's interesting. Interesting comparisons. Hey, Armisk. We got this guy. Let's take him down here. And we'll spawn him here. We are in Fallen Pass. We're just in the smuggler area. The Fallen Pass. We'll spawn them here, actually. Face him towards the wall. Save. New command. Pause. Pause. 12. Air misses. Sweet. Every time I see you in on the game, it's looking more awesome. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on right now, man. Lots of folks doing good stuff. We're packing stuff in there. But glad you're feeling it. There's some layers of other stuff like secrets, mud action, triggered stuff like that it'll be good to continue to layer in as well as we go. Trying to sneak a little bit of that stuff in here as I go on this one. And then could they have made an M&M size zone back then with architecture at the time? There were some different limitations. Bill, definitely some limitations there. I can't remember how much of it is like actual file size limitations or texture memory limitations or any other limitations or zone size for the exporter. I think the exporter would get kind of wild sometimes. But then there's even just how many players can you have in a zone. So if you made a zone really huge and you couldn't have a ton of players in there, then that's not going to make sense because kind of setting yourself up for failure. So, a few different things going on, I think. Is Liz still around? She is. She's been working on some wonderful lace. She's posted some pictures of it. Pretty badass. But we gotta check in on her. Sounds like she had something come up as well. Kind of the season this summer. Lots of stuff popping up for us. Well, we gotta look out for each other. Does she have a Twitch channel? I don't believe she's mentioned one recently. If she does, it may be one that she's not like doing a ton of stuff on. She should do Twitch stream of just making the lace, like just have the camera on it while she's people watch it. Talking about making that fishing fan game, you should do it, and then you should make the golf game. M&M Golf. Semi-officially sanctioned. go to. Yep. Like I said, hopefully you can hear the music, because I know, because I'm just trying to like blast through a couple of these things. I can go a little bit radio silent. So apologies. Usually we're joking about me not getting anything done on stream, but this is why. I cannot multitask very well. Taking $100 donations for each hour extended gameplay this weekend. Oh, if only life were so easy. We've really tried to stick to our guns with the whole not taking cash from folks. Yeah. Do you guys, so at this stage in our development, do you guys think the merch store is considered taking money? Like if we're selling merch, is that fair play, or is that kind of cheesy? Is that us going against our, like, you know, what we've said? IRL merch, yep. For Konami, it would be real life stuff. Do we have merch now? We've had merch for, I don't know, 2 years. We just don't let you guys buy it. Merch is a product for a price, fair play. IRL merch is awesome. Post the link. Oh, nope. We're not, not yet. If we were to unlock the floodgates on that, we would need to update some stuff and work through some new pricing and beta test it and make sure we don't lose our ass. Because we could actually screw ourselves with that one. You definitely buy some. No one feels like it would be cheesy. Like we've been saying for years, we don't want to take any of your cash, and then we'd be taking your cash. Dress test shirts, would that be a little too FOMO? I mean, do like a stream where you put on an extra small one? Oh, me put on an extra small? It might fit. Now we know your fetish. Like someone said, tangible item exchange for money, totally okay. Right on. Nicodemus said if all the update 3P art images were on the front of t-shirts, I'd own every shirt. Yeah, well, dude, we've got a lot of good content for merch, for sure. I think we could have a lot of fun on that front. Stress test shirts with peeling logos and colors that fade after the first wash. Well, that's going to happen a little bit with some of this stuff, because we're going to start with print on demand. So it's not going to be the quality that we would like to have in 5 years, but it will definitely be legit. You were there and got the t-shirt style situation. Meat shirt, please. Just the little plane of meat, the Spit. That would definitely, it would be a fun one. All right. I'm going to keep blasting on this before I touch any objects. We got plenty of time. Don't let us forget to plant a meat shirt then. At least flag our accounts though now so we can buy the I Was There shirts down the road. Oh, that'd be an interesting thing. I wonder if we could do that. In 2013, I had a family restaurant. Figured out a month after opening, we were paying our customers about 5 cents to eat our most expensive meat on our most expensive bread. Devil's in the details. All Funk, that is 100% no bullshit. Like, that is the thing that we've got to figure out. Horace Grant. Oh, I think you followed before we started. So, we would, if we were to put merch out, we would definitely we would basically take any money that came in, you know, essentially the profit after taxes, and just use that to invest. And we would kick off our whole thing where we're publishing our details, like basically our revenue. We would show revenue, and where that's going, and then how we're investing that. Like, we'd probably use it for something like outsourcing. You know, if we found that there was enough there that we could actually use it to scale, something like that to help us with post early access growth. But the thing that we've got to do, you know, per what you're saying, Hoffunk, is really look at like how much is the shipping eating up, because we did a test run internal a couple years ago, I think, and we had it set up where the shipping wasn't accounted for properly, where we've really got to we got to be careful, because if the shipping's not set up properly, and then it was one of those weird things where I think because maybe Ham or Ali were like in Bahrain, they ordered, and the shipping wound up costing every bit of the profit we would have gotten plus some. I think we wound up paying them $5 or $10 for shirts or something to get them over there. So it's some stuff like that we've got to watch out for, because it could basically bite us in the ass, especially if all of a sudden there's a lot of engagement with it. And yeah, so it's just something we really have to look at the pricing and look at, like, do some tests and maybe even do like a limited sort of open sneaky run with it and then get it going. But if the general consensus winds up being that merch is fair play, we've got so much good stuff that we think we could put out there, that folks would probably love, that we'll see. You know, it, for us, we run such a tight budget, and you know, we're just looking at it like there could be a potential opportunity for us to get ahead in some areas if we're to do something like that. But yeah, we'll think about it. We'll be thinking about it. We want to stick to our code. We want to stick to what we said we're going to do, and not cheat on that, but we also don't want to miss any potential opportunity to get stuff done. But actually subscribe for a monthly, quarterly t-shirt. Just no, once it goes live, you just put your money where your mouth is, show up every month and dip in there. We'll see. Because one of the other things we've looked at is like, we could do something like this, and then people would be like, oh, that's cheesy. You know, they're actually taking people's money now, and then we only get like we sell like 100 t-shirts or something. It's like, was our credibility worth that? Was it worth the 100 t-shirts where we probably wind up with like $5 profit on a shirt? You can't buy us for $500. But yeah, the merch thing, it's funny. I was watching old buddy of mine I hadn't talked to in a couple years, the guy from the skateboard industry that I've mentioned a few times, contact me last week, just to, because he knew my dad as well, and just to give his condolences and stuff. And we talked for a bit about the fact that we hadn't talked in a while and shit like that. And it just got me thinking about those guys again. And I wound up watching. I think I had been recommended the interview, like Andy Anderson, authentic Andy Anderson was on Hawk versus Wolf, the podcast. So I wound up watching a chunk of it because I think Andy Anderson's interesting, and Tony Hawk's, naturally interesting guy, and I hadn't heard much from Jason Ellis, so I thought that was kind of interesting to see him on there. And so then I saw that they had done a Hawk versus Wolf with Jamie Thomas, and I was like, oh shit, that'll be interesting. Kind of see what he's up to, where he's at. And I haven't talked, like, seen Jamie in forever, and so it's kind of cool to hear them talking. I wound up watching another Jamie interview, I think on the 9 or whatever, just because, again, it's always interesting to kind of hear how he remembers coming up and what the stories are, and then kind of hearing some of the background, having heard some of the names and all that stuff, and knowing, at least one or two people. And it was so interesting because it just reminds me how much I love the skateboard industry from the standpoint of just branding and merch and shit like that. And that's really the main inspiration. And it's been something I wanted to do for, I can actually say decades now with game merch. Like, I've always thought it would be so rad to have a game and a company that we loved the branding on, and we worked the branding on so much that it was something where we just had really, really dope merch, like kind of skateboard company level merch, where, like, it's just fucking tight. So I wanted to do that forever. Tyson's dad, what's up? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm such a like Gen X boomer that I don't even have like you're not able to do any of the cool emojis in here, huh? I got the Frankenface nose thing up here, Franker face, and it's not even turned on, I don't think. I don't know how to make any of this shit work. I'm not really very cool. Oh well. It's true, Jasmine, it's true. Etnies plus Etnies in Eminem. I don't know that it would be Etnies. Fallen Footwear, Eminem Fallen Footwear. I wonder if I don't know if Chad's still doing stuff with Fallen. Have to ask him. Be like, if he ever calls me back, we'll see. He called me last week. He's like, dude, haven't talked forever. We need to talk more. I'm like, yeah, let's talk more. He's like, all right, next week. Okay, we'll see. Watch, it'll be another 2 years. Funny. Pause. Love the game. Only problem is I went to log in and I cannot through. I am very sorry that is the case. I know you're kidding. Tomorrow 1 p.m. Eastern. That is 100% true. Tyson's dad. Are you going to be there? For whatever reason, your name reminds me of this place in Virginia near where I was for a while. I think it was Tyson's Corner. Gollum179 says, I support the merch idea, but I do worry it might affect PR a bit. Not anything to do with your team, but due to previous MMOs who have made people skeptical about games taking money from folks before a game is consistently playable on the market. Yep, and that is the concern, man. That is the concern. That right there is that's the big one. That's why you guys don't have merch yet. Tyson's Corner, you ever go to Eden Center, the Asian shopping center? Brown Butcher? Nope. Man, I didn't go anywhere when I was stationed in DC. I mean, this was also like 94 through 97. After naming my son, I see more Tyson things. So, is that how this started? Oops. My label's crooked. Return would be my fear. They return it, as far as I know, they just return it to the print on demand, and they handle all of that shit. And then if we do it, we would leave the comments open, like the reviews. So anything you don't like about the shirt, like, oh, the print quality sucks, or my label is crooked, or whatever, we'd be okay. Like, we encourage you to post it so that other people can make the decision as to whether or not they want a shirt, you know, with a crooked label potentially, because we're trying to be good guys. Tyson means Ty's son, so it's literally easiest way to name my son, I feel like. Or Tyler's son. Oh, are you Ty or Tyler? Is that what's up? You couldn't just have a junior? Knucklehead, what's up, dude? Tyson's Corner, you live right by there? Is a nice area now? When I lived in DC, it was pretty rough. In the early mid 90s, DC was not a place where you played any kind of shenanigans. Hey, Dargeth. Misprints would be worth more in 20 years. Yeah, any flaws in the shirts just make them more valuable. You weren't feeling junior. Fair enough. I love this. I love this music right now that just came on. This is from the Biome Jam 2024 video. Some good music in there. 3D printed capsule people could be the new Funko Pops, except there's not much variety. Robert is gifted. He is very gifted. We've got some gifted people on the team. Excuse me. I'm debating. It's only 8:30. Maybe I'll wait. No, if I'm gonna drink it, I should drink it now. I had a Monster Energy earlier, and now I'm kind of wanting the Red Bull that I bought. Since it's Friday, I can get pretty wild, I guess. Watch, it'll wind up giving me just an insane headache. Too much caffeine or sugar or whatever. Too wild on a Friday night. Oh no, the swamp. The swamp music. Kind of like sugar-free watermelon Red Bulls. I don't think I've seen that flavor here. I've only seen like 2 sugar-free. Original and the other one. Got some for tomorrow. Got 3 cans on standby. Nah, I've got Monster, but I don't have any Red Bull. We'll see how the stress test is going. I might wrap up at a reasonable hour tomorrow if everything's just going fine and everybody's having a good time. There'll be enough people streaming. The black and gray can one, I think it's 0 sugar. Yeah, so I've had the regular sugar free, and then I've had the black and gray can. Not a fan of either one. Kind of poopy. Oh man, what are you doing up here? You need to be here. Ooh, you know what would be good and it would be more reasonable, and my loving wife would probably just hook me up with it, like just out of pure love. Some raw dog food meat? No. Maybe like a half calf coffee later, so it's not too extreme. Like in 3 minutes. Thorfinn said, I like Jocko's energy drink, so caffeine, less random chemicals. Are they good? They're, I'm in Germany, so we don't necessarily get that stuff, right away. In Sweden and now in some places in Germany, you can get Nocos, Nocco. They've got like a kind of an odd taste, and they're sugar free, and I think like I know what sugar does to me, but like it's the sugar free that I swear sometimes gives me like headaches or whatever. But in Sweden you find them everywhere. Sweden is like, at least Stockholm. Stockholm was a weird spot, dude. Stockholm, there's so much health food all over the place. You go into the 7-Eleven and there's just a wall of like protein drinks and yogurts, and they've got like their own kind of version of it's not in Germany, it's called quark. But they've got like this, it's like it's thicker than yogurt kind of stuff, just granola, just all this healthy food, tons of it, tons of variety, all these Noco energy drinks, all these different flavored vitamin waters. And there's health food places all over, and there's coffee shops all over. Stockholm was weird in a number of ways, kind of weird, kind of creepy, but also pretty fitness oriented, and it showed. I know what you mean by the headache. Jocko uses monk fruit, which doesn't give me that. Ah, that's what it's using, monk fruit. Interesting. I've read up on it because I love sugar, man. but I'm getting older, and I should probably avoid some of it. So, Red Bull has a lot of great flavors. Juneberry one's amazing. Yeah, the ones that I've seen over here, acai, or however you pronounce it, apricot. I love the winter cinnamon and pear. That's a good one. That's like my pumpkin spice. What was I doing? Go home? Yeah. Love bougie health food stores, having grown up in Northern Cali. Yeah. Bougie health food stores are rad. We don't have like Whole Foods and stuff here, but fun to visit it when we're in the US. Dude, this tunnel is so long. Why is it so long? It's so long. We'll sneak in here and we'll put a camp or two in here. Give you some real reason to be in here. The verticality is so gnarly in this zone that just some of the tunnels are just, I mean, look at that. So, if we're going to do verticality, we're also going to do long ass tunnels and ramp. Can't wait to explore it. I cannot wait for you to explore it as well and leave your corpse. And then have to try to figure out how you're going to get it back. Yeah, so I'm doing, this is, because the go-tos are so long, this is definitely some busy work. But you know what? This feels like some of the most productive busy work I've done on a stream in a while. It's a good kind of busy work. Where the F is this one going? Use my French. Is that you? Is that you, John Wayne? Does that work? I think it does work, actually. Okay, it's fine. That go-to works. It's just... Oh, I see what's going on. Needs a big Indiana Jones... big Indiana Jones. A big Indiana Jones boulder, I think, would make perfect sense. Once we get that technology in place, maybe that'll happen. Cliff diving competition. There's some good spots here for that. Open Novo says, cool seeing this get fleshed out. Remember, Pat is showing this off like 2 months ago. Yeah, it's a big investment, this zone. Thank you. Oh, speaking of merch, I see what you did there. Good looking out. And the print's not perfect on this, like the gradient and stuff's not perfect, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look like the dopest quality. It's clearly not silk screened. It's like a heat transfer or something. But it's held up in the dishwasher a lot. We've used this a lot. And then we got some nice little printouts and stuff. We got all sorts of stuff. That shop's pretty good. We'll get it going. We'll have to do some more polling and stuff though. We really don't want to be seen as like just you know, just taking your cash. Don't want to be seen as grifters. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. What's up, Goblin? Giant boulder that's just a mob with no attack animation and won't chase you. It just goes down a path. The world's slowest boulder. We gotta get NPC run 2 points in first. Our go-tos are all just walk. Will you guys have environmental traps? Yeah, we can do a little bit of that now, but it'll be something that we'll have to play with more and really tweak and get feeling right later. We put in one trap a long time ago and really haven't messed with it since. We had a spike trap in Wormsbane that I can't remember if it's broke and we never fixed it or what. But it's funny. It's like I'm getting a little lazy right now. I'm like, oh, how many more go-tos do I need to put in here? Oh, okay. Almost done, guys. Just been too long getting frustrated trying to understand Monty's magic shaders. Well, take a break. Breathe. Don't get too frustrated. No point. You know what? We're gonna have something else going on with these guys here. Maybe sit them over here, little table and chairs and shit. Taking a little break. These guys will take a break. This guy kind of keeping an eye out. 20. Go to. Face down. We'll adjust all this stuff later once I throw the objects in. Goblin said, felt like I just wasted a painting session. That stuff is not for me. I'll let the pros deal with it. Oh, you mean like tweaking, filling with knobs and shit, trying to make the shader work? You're like, I could have just been painting. Do enemies patrol waypoints or in a random area? We can do both. Like if I wanted to, I could have this guy, instead of going to specific points, I could just set up a volume here and he would just randomly move around within the volume. But I want him to move in a specific, like very deterministic manner. So what I'm doing is he spawns in, he'll wait 20 seconds facing down this hall. He'll go to right over here where these guys are going to be hanging out. He'll hang out with them for another 20 seconds, right? For it. Then he'll walk over here where these guys are coming down and unloading stuff. And he'll wait here for pause. 25 seconds, just so it's Can mobs go to a volume then return to a path? I've tried that because I was going to do something with some beetles camps that I put into the boneyard, and then I realized that I think we need a bit of functionality, and I don't know if I wrote that up or not. I don't think I did, because we've got wander in volume, and then when it whenever he pauses, it has the ability to then fire a new command, which essentially the way I would set that up is spawn him, have him go to that, have him wander in a volume, like they were spawning in a volume, and then they would randomly pick the next, like it would trigger in their pause. If they get a pause, they go. Then they would go over to this other volume, and then they would do the same thing there and go to another volume, and then they would come back, right? And it would be kind of random. But I found that it did not look like I could define that volume in any place other than where it spawned. And I was like, this seems like an oversight, or I'm not doing something right. But I tried it and it didn't work. So unfortunately, I wish I just need to write it up. Let me make a note to write that up. Let me note to self in Slack. This is a bug. I saw it. I just didn't. The loving robot. That's me. Right up the go to / volume bug. Cool. In my note. Do enemies have logic that keeps them from facing walls when wandering in a volume? No. If the volume is here, then like if I don't want him looking at a wall for whatever reason, then I would just keep the volume away from it, right? So if I built a volume, I can't draw on my screen, but like essentially here, I can show you in a second. Let me just finish this guy real quick so I don't lose my. You interrupted me mid-funk. Go here. That means you could have. Why am I reading your stuff? I'm trying to finish this guy. Hold on one second. Go home. And then reset. All right, so I just send them back home. And then set active command to 0. So it goes back up and starts the loop all over again. Hit save. Yep. But like basically if I wanted to, so let's just define this as a volume. And right, we turn this point into a spawn volume instead. Right, so basically if we don't want him facing a wall, like, you know, nose against wall looking all goofy, then we just make sure it's not, the volume's not touching a wall, right? So we just kind of keep it out here. So low tech solution. But what you actually often want is, like, if there's a bunch of boxes and stuff in here, it's nice to have it set up so that it you know, he can pause and sometimes look like he's interfacing with the boxes. So like if boxes were along the wall, in that case, maybe you would put this along here, right? And then depending on the level of fidelity, does it really matter? You could maybe make that volume bigger or smaller depending on what story you're trying to tell, right? So that kind of thing, right? It always comes back to like, what story am I trying to tell with this particular mob? Nice to implement something like this in my game. Just have enemies randomly face the player when the player is not looking while patrolling. Now, you can put in additional commands and stuff that would be, you know, more specific, so it could be a bit more deterministic on like face objects or face, you know, the nearest player or whatever, right? Like, so it's just a matter of making those additional commands. And over time, we may find that we add in some of those commands, right? So we kind of add them in as programmers have time, and it ups our game a bit, pun intended. Goblin said means you could spawn a mob, go to their laundry, go get their laundry, walk to their house for an hour, then do dishes, then walk to the park, blah blah blah. We could not only do that, but we could have it be that it would go to. We could even create a loop where they would go to the park and they'd wander around in the park, and then they may not leave the wandering in the park, even if they get the command to leave wander in the park. until it's starting like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. when it's starting to get dark. At which point we would have it so that we can set it so that then it would look for a specific condition, right? Condition or trigger. And so then it could basically, if it's in this condition, then it would go to this other command and would hop out of that loop potentially, right? So yeah, as we have time, we can increase some of the behavior that we see. And one of the thoughts is, and we'll see if we wind up with the time, is as the designers on the team get better with the tools, as we maybe add another designer or two or something over time, you never know. As we're getting the bulk of our content done, then we'll go in and we'll do some passes where we go in and we add some more of this stuff, right? Turnip Jin said you've gotten some nice shout outs in the Quarm server Discord. Perhaps you've heard already? Oh no. Tell us more. It's always nice when people are happy about us. Oh, not intended. I love having Robert's music in the background, man. We are blessed. Oh, that coffee was a perfect call. Good call. Secrets, Quorum creator made server-wide announcements pushing people to try your stress test tomorrow, as well as directing folks to in Discord. Awesome. Love Secrets. Thank you, Secrets, if you are out there. Hey, Be More Gaming. Tadvik said, hello, got back from an interview. Speaking of coffee, it's for fixing espresso machines. Coffee is? Almost that espresso. Because I'm from the south. No stream delay, instant response? Weird. I'll take it though. Don't jinx us. Don't you put that evil on me, Be More Gaming. Yeah, I'll take some more foam on my coffee. Thank you. Was the interview a job interview? Was it, were you being interviewed by the press? Are you famous? Do you think there's something to being able to make NPCs predictable and findable when talking about creating a whole new schedule for one like that? Does it become counter to fun, assuming it is an NPC intended to be rarely seen? Well, I mean, it depends on what the NPC is, right? Like, you know, if it's every merchant all the time, then it could be a pain in the balls. If the whole idea is you got to figure out, you know, where Panis the Ranger is hanging out today, then it can be fun, right? It's built into it. If it's meant to just be kind of ambient, where it makes the environment feel a little bit different, then that's going to be probably one of the one of the more primary roles of the NPCs, right? It's kind of like these guys are moving around, right? They're pathing and stuff. Would it be more fun if they just popped in place because it would be easier to, you know, basically pull them and kill them? Probably if, you know, but then in doing it this way, then the assumption also isn't like this is probably going to be like the most fun camp. And so it's like it's more flavor, and then maybe like this area would become more of a camp, and then they become extra, right? So it depends, Zukin. I mean, it's a solid point. And then the question is, if it is somebody that you're meant to find, can we put in tools to help mitigate the fact that they're moving, right? So we can make it so that the guard not only tells you where a location is, but the guard will tell you where an NPC is, right? So we have 2 fields in our tool. Let's check it out. Check it out. So if we go here to point of interest, Elemino, yep, P, right below it. If we look at the tool, we can point you to a direction. So the guard will say, hey, basically whatever NPC you speak to will say, in this case, the garrison can be found, I forget the 3 terms that indicate distance, like not too far to the east of here, because he's looking at his position relative to this point in the map. But we can also say NPC, right? So like in this case, if Xavius was moving around and you hailed guards, it would continue, the guards or other NPCs would continue to tell you what direction he's in. Is that how we're going to do our ranger track? Rangers just take a guard hostage and drag him around? I think that is probably the best implementation suggestion I've heard to date. The rangers are just running around with guards in little gimp suits. There we go. Problem solved. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the whole fun, right? Finding the NPC running around in the zone was the point. Especially if you're carrying, what was it? 3,000 copper? Oops. But yeah, as much as I'd like to maybe explore the during the daytime, vendors go inside, you know, things like that. That is one of the primary concerns of like moving NPCs around, right? Like, all right. Not only do I gotta find the right vendor, now the vendor's moving. Come. So, but yeah, basically ambient stuff. I think I've said it a bunch of times. I don't know. I don't think I made it up, but like I think I've said a bunch of times. I was watching like director's cut of like Ghost in the Shell or Akira or something like that, and the director was just talking about how it's good to have like 30% of the background in motion because they do so much with stills that it actually brings it alive. And so I think just having some of that ambient activity and stuff is helpful. I really got into the ambient shit. If you played Shadows of Luckland, I was an apprentice, but I was a design apprentice, but I was tasked with implementing the starter city, Charval. And, you know, some of the stuff like the cats on stage, like talking and people training and shit like that. Like I thought that was really cool when we saw it in I think like the monks in, was it Kanos or something, maybe did some stuff. And so we were trying to take that like to the next level, and it was stuff that I talked about with Steve Burke a bunch about like, oh, how do we add more ambience and stuff just to make it feel a little bit more alive and up the production values a little bit, I guess. Wonder if there could be like night shift merchant. Yeah, there could. Yeah, or we just do it in a way where it's just kind of like, can we get whores in the bathhouse? Dragon. Listen, you're not in the Marine Corps anymore. You gotta rein it in. This is a family-friendly game. We probably wouldn't use that name. You know, I'm not encouraging you. Pineapple. Where are we? We're gonna shut this down before it goes any further. It's Friday. You can't be trusted with this sort of humor. It reminds me of Rexar and WoW, how we would travel between a few different zones. Yeah, and it's stuff like that that we'll definitely have more of that stuff going in as well. Could have lamplighters that turn on all the streetlights and stuff. If NPCs kill them, the city goes dark. That's the only problem, right? I've thought about the implementation in that because we do have a Lamplighters Guild. And I've been meaning to play around with it, but just it has not been a priority. And now that's going to be on my mind again. Dang it. Liz, what's up? Liz? Brown Butcher was asking for you earlier. I'm just asking if you're doing all right. Nope, he's around. Brown Butcher said only on inside. He was mentioning the game. Yeah, he was mentioning that. There he is. There's Brown Butcher. Brown Butcher. Yeah, he said he's going through some stuff. I said you're going through some stuff as well, and you guys should sync up and stuff. And if either of you need a, you know, you need a shoulder, you let me know. Is this the Underdark? It is not. It's just it's a really long tunnel. Watch, I'm gonna set all these guys up, and I'm gonna come look at it and be like, "This is stupid." I usually don't go this long without like hopping in game and looking at stuff, but hey, why not? Is there any reason to have those go-to so close to each other rather than reusing one on the path? Because we don't have the ability to reverse path at the moment, and we've talked about what that might look like. But there are actually, it seems like a very easy thing to set up, but there's some interesting logic challenges that can come up, right? I can show you right now even, right? So I pause, I spawn, I pause, 8 seconds, I go to, I pause, and then I go to the next one. But this pause is predicated on me going here first. Now, if I just reverse this loop and say, okay, run back up the index in reverse, then we need to do something about this pause because we want this pause to happen, right? Now, we could put go back up the loop after the pause, and in this case, cut it in half, right? So then it would, instead of being a 10-second pause, it would pause for 10 seconds and then would go to reverse the loop, and then it would pause for, oh, sorry, instead of 10 seconds, it'd be 5 seconds. Reverse uno, 5 seconds, back up the loop, blah, 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 blah. Then we come up here, and then do we start with a reverse, or does it just know when it hits 0 to always kind of come back? Might work. I don't know. It's something we've talked about a little bit. It's just, we've got a list of stuff that we want, and it hasn't been a high enough priority yet. So you know what? I'm a firm believer in if you don't have the exact tool you need at the moment, but you want to get shit done, then just keep using a hammer. It's fine. So brute force works for now. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is absolutely one of those sort of tech priority things. It's like, would I rather have this or that or some of the other stuff? It will definitely save some go-tos, but at the end of the day, like, I'll live. It gives me something to click on while we're hanging out and talking, right? Usually I'm way less productive than this, so. Hey, Simon, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, this is like 4+ streams worth of productivity already. Yeah, it just, you happen to find me when I'm doing something where I can not like 1000% pay attention and still be productive. A lot of just clicking. So adding in spawns is great because it's like, especially when I know what I want to sort of achieve with like their setup, it's great because it winds up being like good podcast work. Like I can listen to podcasts or whatever. If you can't have the tool you want, use the tool you're with. Exactly. What in the world are you clicking on? Geo or something. Wish I could make the event tomorrow, but you know, kids and such. You know what? Kids are more important than a stress test. Don't feel bad. Enjoy every moment. Accumulate. What mobs are these path spawns for? Smugglers and Screevar Ratmen. Or actually probably Morhua Ratmen are the ones mostly pathing, since they're the worker bees. They're the ones that have been enslaved by the Screevar. Lore spoilers? Yeah. I like to think of it as lore samplers. I call it lore play. It's just a little bit of lore up front to get you in the mood. The lore play. Where the hell is that point going to? Oh god, immediate unsub. That was pretty horrible, huh? Oh well. Oh well. See you, Dargith. Have a good one. Let's roleplay some lore play. Thadvik, will you be the sexy German police officer? Oh wait, I overshared again. Oops. I always wonder if there's ever any new people that come in here and they're like, what did I get into? I was expecting I was expecting some extremely well enunciated discussion of the games industry. Like this is not pirate software or whatever. That's not. You came to the wrong place. A lot of us old guards still ask ourselves, "Oh God, what did I get into?" Well, good. Good to know. Good to know that we are on top of things. Yeah, how many years have you been watching Turnip? You've been around for a while. Chaka, what are you talking about? May 28th, 2020. Man, you were early. Oh, okay. How do you check how long you've watched the stream? I have no idea, man. I don't know how any of this shit works. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it says it right there. Following since I can see all you guys. Lots of folks been around for a couple years. What's up, Monotonous? Hello. Is it Stinier? I forget. Stinier? Yes? There was a time when Sean would just log in and play EverQuest. It's amazing to see the progress of this game from casual talk to stress test. Wild, right? 30th October 2020. You mainly lurk though, right? You got to be a lurker. Yeah, it's weird, right? When I first started streaming, it was not to work on a game, that's for sure. Just it was just to play video games with Jasmine. Nothing wrong with lurking. Well, I appreciate you being around for freaking 4 years. That's pretty cool. Just watched the underwater audio video. Robert's a DD wizard. He is. He's even got a cat. Remember the first stream showing in-game the game in engine with capsule people? Yeah, it's funny how quickly that all came together too, right? We're like, yeah, we think we're gonna make a game. We're like, all right, we're in the game now. We're getting started. Ugh. Here we go. We're gonna be done any moment now. We got capsule people. We got a zone made in we got a 2-room dungeon that Ollie made. We got a zone made, outdoor zone in a city, all ready to go. Done. Done. The wrap. We're almost done here. A couple years later. All right. We lied. It's not just going to be capsule people. We've increased the fidelity. August 17th, 2022. Baby follower. Found you from EQ interview videos on YouTube. Really enjoyed those. That's how I was trying to hook people with those. Got to do some more. That was totally not intentional to drive people to our game. If you are a lawyer or EverQuest, just get that through your head. Yeah, yeah. People like it's almost 9:30 here. People are just now going out for the night. It's like getting ready for bed. This is streaming on Fridays till 11 is like what? What? I'm old as dirt. Speaking of, though, now that I just said that, next weekend, starting Thursday, I'm going to be at a music festival. So I will not be streaming next Friday. I'll figure out what the stream schedule looks like, but I will not be streaming next Friday. Instead, I will be listening to music. Who's playing Friday? Let me look. It is the festival that Amon Amarth is playing at. Get out of here. Not the lineup. Where's the... Das final lineup steht. Okay, but what is the actual... What's the lineup? Is it posted somewhere on here? How do you not... Yeah, like... Bull? News? Yeah, like how do you not make that pretty prominent? Bands? But I think it's just showing lineup. I was curious who is playing on Yeah, I went to schedule. Madball. I worked a Madball concert in Washington, D.C. we had an all-day hardcore festival at the Capitol Ballroom, and Madball was there. It was 1996. 1996 was the last time I saw Madball live. Any other hardcore bands? Heavy Source is great. They're kids. They play in the morning. They're for the kids, but Jasmine likes them as well. They play in dinosaur outfits. That's very good. Where is Dash Van? It's in the info section? Okay. Wo? Wer spielt wann? Vielen Dank. Okay. Donnerstag, Freitag. Hatebreed is another hardcore band that played at our club. What? Coffee and Kuchen? Pika. We're not drinking, so we'd have to get some coffee and then go see Clutch. Definitely down to see Clutch. I love Clutch. Born of Osiris will be good. Hatebreed. Heaven Shall Burn. Corn. Yeah, if I can stay up that late. If I'm able to stay up till 11, then yes. Black Dahlia Murders. Nasty. You know them? You like them? Okay. Awesome, man. Okay, so Clutch, then Born of Osiris will be good. And then Hatebreed will wake us back up. And then we'll go through there. Cool. Hey, Sparrow. What were you saying? Band played a show with Amur at the Stoner before they were big. I forget. I have to listen to him again. I swear I've listened to him recently. I think I've gone through all the bands recently just on the playlist to try to make sure that I... Yes. Blind Guardian, yes. What day was it though? Is it Saturday? Dragon Force. Yeah, so, I mean, they're kind of loading it up, right? Madball's over here at 8. I could see that. I'd be fine skipping Behemoth, I think, even for... We'll see what they look like on stage, but, Blind Guardian, Amon Amarth. Tight. Madball. Lionheart. Good. Right on. And then Thursday. Walls of Jericho, I guess. Cro-Mags, just for old time's sake. Don't know him, I don't think. Melon Colin, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't think I've... In all these years, I don't know that I say their name out loud very often. Yeah, so that's the festival. So that's next weekend. Whitechapel's, yeah, good. Mushroom Head, still being around. I only know them from like early 2000. So anyways, that's what's happening next weekend. I won't be around. Robert will not be there if I have not heard that he's going to be there. His band's definitely not playing there. Different kind of music. Yeah. He really should come by. Your kids love Slipknot and Metallica? There you go. That's how you know you raised them right. Good job, Sparrow. Oh, no, not go home. That's cute. So this will be an interesting experiment because it'll be the first metal festival I've gone to and not worked where I haven't had any alcohol. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, not drinking. Excuse me. Excuse me. Saren said same. My son's been asking me to take him to see Slipknot next time they come around. Told him if I can I will. That'd be super cool. That'd be a great moment, man. I've got this picture in my like pile of pictures of my dad of me when I was a little kid, and I think I'm wearing like a deep purple t-shirt that I got at the the festival, and we're at like a rock metal festival in Germany, and my dad's there with his motorcycle club because they weren't really a gang. I mean, they're more of a club. And it's an awesome photo. Everybody's just like chilling out, enjoying the music. He's been in the same music for me for the past years. Slipknot, Metallica, other heavy metal, thrash metal bands. Makes me tear up a bit. Dude, it's solid music, right? It's nice that the young folks can get to experience that, especially like old Metallica. Old Metallica is really good. Looks like you're making return pass now. It's not a way to reverse NPC pass. It took way up. No, not a clean way at the moment. It's functionality that we'll eventually get in. We don't have it yet to reverse it. There's some kinks to work out with it, logic wise, and then just getting it in. And we do have a go home, but go home, it's not clean. Like they'll path against the wall and shit. And so that's not good. So I usually use go home like once there's a clear line of sight to the spawn point, and that's about it. So, yep, that's my story. Thanks, Jasmine. Glad you liked it. Yeah, it surprised me that they love music from my time. They're pretty cool kids, I think. Anyways, it shouldn't surprise you. It's just good music, right? Like that's kind of like, yeah, who did we see at that festival, right? Like, it's like, I think Deep Purple, ZZ Top, Springsteen, all this shit. Like back then, and I look at it, it's like still relevant music today, still good, right? Like I saw the Stones in '89, I think, in Alabama. Saw the Rolling Stones during the Steel Wheels tour, and they were older and dirt then. But it was still awesome, like seeing them, and Stones are still relevant, and there's probably somebody seeing them in the early 70s going like, oh, I love this band, and then later on they're like, can't believe people still like the Rolling Stones. They're the Rolling Stones. And honestly, so much of that music goes harder than it just like, yeah, Creeping Death or Battery and songs like that, they're uniquely good. Keith Richards was already 200 years old by the time you saw him. He does have the One Ring. Somebody made some comment, like there was some meme about Keith Richards recently that was just brilliant. Just the dude is eternal. MLB 365 said saw Metallica at Oktoberfest in Milwaukee years ago. Talk about culture clash. Nothing like watching guys in lederhosen fighting each other in black leather. What? I live in Germany. That's a normal thing. Except for the fighting. They don't fight a lot here. I get I get in trouble. They're really not very aggro here. Aggro is a rarity, so I stand out like a sore thumb. But I could definitely see some guys in lederhosen hanging out with guys in black leather, moshing around. It's funny, but you say fighting, and I'm like, that sounds like America. They're like, Sean, why are you so aggressive? Why are you picking on my culture? You gotta be nice to me. I've migrated to your country. You need to appreciate my culture of aggression. Too soon. What? It's I'm talking about my life experience. There, Brown Butcher. It is too soon though. It hasn't even been a full year since I got in trouble for punching somebody at a festival. But in a week it will be. I'm not well, I'm you know what? If anybody gets punched this time, I'm going to be completely sober and I guarantee you they probably had it coming this time. I have an American temperament, not cultured European, even though I was born and raised in Canada. That's too spicy for the Canadians. They threw you over the border. Like, all right, let's get her out of here. 6'5", 260 in my life. I've noticed most don't pick fights with me. It's true. It's rare that happens. I'm not quite that large. I'm not that beefy. I'm scrawny. I'm 6'2", 190. Arrived you punched someone at a festival. Hail. And on that note, should tavern regular be fisticuffs bonus? Oh, that might be good. That would be a good trait. Tavern regular. MLB, what do you do for a living? Are you a Major League Baseball player? Now that I think about it, I might already know. Oops, this one was unnecessary. It's like That's a lot of dude. Baseball player makes sense. Baseball players are like, you don't realize how big they can be. Coming out lurk for this one, but the idea of the same name drunk character at a tavern in every city sounds pretty great. Don't let us forget that one. Didn't Kurt Schilling play EQ? He did, yeah. And then he even started an MMO company, which, if you haven't seen it, I've done some interviews with some of my former coworkers that worked there. They really liked it before shit went south with the whole fiasco with the state and stuff. Just love baseball? Right on. Used to be a general laborer in a foundry, and now I still work in foundry, but you're in the quality department? Badass. "6'5", 260 pounds, works at a foundry. I think my testosterone just went up like 30 points just thinking about that. Just the mental image. I've got energy right now. Like, I feel energized. It's not even the coffee. I think just the mental image. Sounds like blacksmith? Yeah, that's what I was picturing. Peak blacksmith energy. Peaky Blinders blacksmith energy. Like, sparks everywhere. The soundtrack to Flashdance turning on. Corvus that just grew some chest hair. Exactly. MLB is like, I did not come here to be objectified. More or less, used to load unload 100-pound weights from a cleaning machine every 70 seconds for 8 hours. Oh. When he started the job, he was only 6 even. 185. Grew so much muscle. Actually had to work up. They start you on like the 10-pound weight. And then as you've worked there for longer, you move to the like 25-pound weights. You've worked there like 3 years, 4 years in, they move you up to the 45-pound weights. By year 5, you're up to the 100-pound weights. In that time, you went from like 160, 170 to growing another 5 inches, and it's just pure muscle. Just muscle from just... Skinny little legs though. He's got very skinny legs because he wasn't. It was a lot of twisting. It's a lot of twisting movement that MLB was doing, and so like 100-pound Russian twists, just 8 hours of that. Just yeah, hips like he's got 4 Shakiras just strapped to him. Hips, but skinny. From like the mid thigh down, pretty thin. But he's got 4 Shakiras in the just this. He's like a blue whale in the middle. It's just meat. The abs, the core strength on this guy. Abs, delts, traps past his ears. I think the most fit I've ever been was 215, 6'1". Most of that was core due to my job. Still had some fat on me. Not a lot. Kind of the same. Not a lot of upper leg, but some decent calf. Well, what job was it, nerve-wrecked? Chronic back issue. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's fun to paint the fun picture, but I know like real work like that definitely Was it like the army jokes all the time? It's like not service related. All your injuries and stuff when you retire is not service related. Distribution job at a clothes warehouse, believe it or not, stocking. I mean, you pack a bunch of clothes densely into a box. That shit's heavy. No joke. What was these guys? All right, cool. We're pretty good now. Hanging a lot as well. Right on. Which ones are open? Nice little window to see if we've modified anything and not fixed it. 243. I can just hit stay, but I'm curious to see which one that is. This guy. Oh. Go ahead and save. Cool. Nice tool. Thank you, Keith. Good job. All right, so I think we've got a lot of these guys good to go, working and stuff. Let me go ahead and change this guy. Hey, 2 Chains, what's up? We'll add on the evening conversion to where we're at. Feel good in company now among fellow giants. Ogre life. Nice. There is a hidden secret giant among us, but I'm not going to dox them. One of our community members role plays a tiny race, a small race, but is also a giant. Come to find out. Cool. All right, so we're good here. I haven't done any of the objects yet, but you know what? Let me go ahead, since I don't need to save this. Let me see. Do I need to pull anything? Oh my god. Yeah, I need to pull. The healthiest I've been was probably, I mean, I think overall I've been different degrees of healthy. I got kind of unhealthy healthy. There are a couple years where I consumed 0 alcohol. I was put on that. This was like before I wound up in rehab and stuff. I was put on anti-anxiety what the hell just anti-anxiety medicine. They're like, don't drink with it. I was like, okay, cool. I just stopped drinking. And all I did was train, right? Like I went from Muay Thai to then doing a ton of jujitsu, and like this was in Texas, and so half my garage, we only used the one side of the 2-car garage. So it's like Austin, Texas heat, but I'd go out in the garage, had like jujitsu mats, kettlebells, heavy bag. I was out there constantly when I wasn't actually at the gym. Was competing a bit, and I competed at 155. I'm 6'2". So whenever I see pictures of that era, I'm just ripped, but so underweight, right? Like it's just 0 body fat, just muscle. It was awesome to be able to compete because I'm 6'2", so competing at 155 in jiu-jitsu at 6'2", who was making a joke earlier about like a gnomish monk like putting your hand on their head so they can't get to you. There was actually a bit of that at one of the tournaments. I was at a Naga tournament, North American Grappling Association or whatever, and wound up palming a couple guys just like foreheads as part of that. But super underweight. But the healthiest I was in high school when I was playing football, because it was like we had an elective class in high school. I could pick weightlifting, and anybody that was on the team would basically had to pick weightlifting in the morning, or I think we had to divide it up, one of the morning sessions. So my first class of the day was weightlifting 5 days a week and football practice. And my dad was so amped that I was playing football because I was kind of a skateboard kid, and I had played football in middle school, and then finally we're now in Alabama, and it's a big deal. And he's like, amped that I finally decided I was going to play football. And But I was I was very punk ass. Like nose ring and shit like that was not necessarily coach's favorite when I first showed up. But yeah, I wound up being about like, because my dad was just like, at the time you could get, there was like this supplement set called like Cybergenics or something like that. And so I had like this box of supplements every month and weight gain shakes and all this shit. Yeah, my dad retired at Fort Rucker, Alabama. I moved there when I like just turned 14. I was like 13, 14. So it was a bit of like a culture shock. And then yeah, I was just like really just working hard constantly. Made it up to like super lean 195, and that was the best shape I think I've ever been in. Better than the army, better than anything. I just did not appreciate it at the time. Dude, it sucked though. I'd get like growing pains at night so bad. My legs would be cramped up all the time, like all night when I'm trying to sleep. Oh man, it sucked. High school football is big in Alabama, if you remember correctly. It is. It's like, I mean the South, right? In Southwest, like, so Texas is a big deal, Alabama's a big deal, Georgia. Are these the tunnels in a zone that has all those undead walking outside? Different tunnel set. Different tunnel set. Who spells devil? No. MLB said, I may be a giant, but I always play a gnome. I like playing a gnome as well because I get to be silly, like small and silly. Unlike real life, where I'm very tall and lanky and silly. Yeah, man. Looking back at it as an adult, looking back as a kid, I was like, on one hand, it sucked. Team sports really kind of sucked. There was a lot of pressure and a lot of work and a lot of pain involved. I'm so amped my dad like pushed me into like trying it out and doing it, and I would definitely encourage parents to like encourage your kid to try team sports. Team sports are awesome. It's like I still remember. I'm 49, right? Like I still remember. It's still one of the like high points of my life to be in the field house with all these people that take football so seriously. I'm like I think a sophomore. I wasn't gonna start. Like all of the people that were defensive ends were like 210, 215 pound like beasts. So I was too small and too young to play like varsity defensive end. But we're watching the tapes, and I love it because this super country, super redneck coach that when they first saw me was like, "Boy, you're gonna need to do something about your hair. I don't know why you got an earring in your nose." All this shit, right? Like, did not want me on the team, but I was so amped, and little humble brag or whatever. But like, it's still one of the high points of my life to come in there after a week of just practices, because I would go so hard. Nothing motivated me more than seeing other people suffer on the team. Like, I didn't even give a shit about the game on the weekend. I was like, I wasn't training to play the game. I was training because I played defense. So the kids that had been assholes to me in middle school and were still kind of at the time being assholes to me in high school, I'd get to hit them as hard as I could, right? The coach is like, my defensive end coach was so great, and he was just like, I want you to hit him. I want you to, and I was like, really? I get to do that? What? So I was so amped to just blast people, and a lot of these guys were just, they were bigger or fitter or whatever. So I was just like, I eventually learned the term in the Army, violence of action. But it was just like, I'm going to go as hard as I can, just like I'm skateboarding. I'm just going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to drill this dude. And if I can do something crazy, like jump over a pile of people to come after you or whatever, I'm going to, right? To me, it was just like a jungle gym of humans. And I loved it so much because I just got to hit people that I knew, and I didn't even care about the game, dude. But then when game time came and there was like people I didn't know, then I could, like, I don't know. I guess it was like, I guess I can hit them even harder. Um, and yeah, so it was just, for me, I had a lot of fun. I would hit people that didn't have the ball, right? Like there would be somebody lined up in the backfield to block me, and I was like, I'm probably not going to get the ball anyway, so I would just line up on him and I'd blast that dude as hard as I could. He's like expecting to block and me try to get around him. I'm like, nah, I just want to drill this dude. Do that couple times, the dude doesn't want to block you anymore, right? So like I really, really enjoyed that a lot. Oh, I don't even know what started that. Oh yeah, then the coach was like, yeah, we're in there one day and he's like, I want you guys to look at Sean over there. He's not going to be playing in the game Friday night, but he comes out here and he's out hustling all of you. Right? Like it was one of those speeches. I was just like, yeah. Yeah. Cause I just loved it, man. We get out there and they'd be like, all right, suicides, right? And you're like, you're running back and forth and doing them, and people are just dropping out and they're heaving, and it's human ass Alabama. Like we'd get there for morning practice sometimes, and the steam would just be coming up off the grass as it's heating up, and it's just gonna be like 3,000% humidity. Oh, I loved it, man. I just loved it. It's just such, it was, for me, it was like the Schadenfreude Olympics. And I carried that into the army. Anytime somebody's like passing out or puking or whatever, I just get so much energy because I'm like, yeah, that's not me. Anyway, that was probably too much information and maybe a side of me that you didn't want to see, but that's the real deal. That's what it's about. Have you guys considered implementing a race smaller than gnomes? Like fairies? Dude, gnomes are so tiny. Gnomes are already, they already break stuff. Gnomes are so small. This doesn't suck enough. Dude, in the army, it was just like things, it was hard to embrace the suck until it really started sucking for other people, and then it was nice. Accent was starting to come out there, I think. Only when I was doing the coach, unless it slipped. Yep, let's reload it. Oh, interesting. Is that gonna break something? Ah. Gnome spitting hot dog rolls. We need to Zukin new armor idea. Hot dog bun for gnomes to wear. Oh, I haven't modified the props, so that's fine actually. Don't tempt you. Let me check. Did someone check out the props after I said I'm checking them out? Let me check Slack. Lush Keck said, cool story. Cool story, bro. Robot, is there a slow fall spell in this game? I don't know if there's one yet, but I'm hoping there is one. It would be a nice sort of pre... it would be a nice pre... whatchamacallit? Levitate type thing. It'd be nice if Levitate's kind of progressive. Which race gets banana suit? Also gnomes. Gnomes get all the best things. You're welcome. Wowzers. That's taking a while to load. Sorry, I just kind of killed the momentum. At least I had a great story to tell during it. Is tinkering in the game yet? No. Guitar time? What does that mean? Is everything locked in for tomorrow? Encrypt, I believe so. Let me check Slack, see if there's any emergency notice. Enjoying the music? Oh, okay. I thought you meant that. I was like, but is there a guitar playing? Alright, so we got a build on staging. Awesome. Yeah, the music's fun. If you want to check out the full playlist, we have it posted up here. So you have, everybody's got access to all of the music as it comes online. So that, I'm just running the playlist in the background right now. Cool. Yeah, super glad you like it. Alright, so let's hop out of this zone. And let's see if we can actually get into game. On that note, tinkering, what kinds of cool things available? Bombs, guns, death rays? Probably none of those. Slick shoes. Pinchers of death. Foot massagers, yes. Vilberius is vibrating insult. Rocket boots. Exactly. Triggering underwater helmets and safe fall parachutes. That would be cool. It'd be cool if we actually got like a parachute to appear. Disable spawn. Let's see if it works. Every time a gnome jumps over 1 meter, deploys. Now it's gotta be a manual one. It's gotta be like the manual shoots that you have when you're static jumping in the army. The one that we wear like right here on your chest. Manual deploy. Ollie, how did you miss this? It's been a very productive and awesome session tonight. Did a shitload of go-tos in a tunnel. Yeah, you didn't. You definitely missed the blacksmith energy earlier. You refactored a buff system so Nick can get his combat to nice. Speaking of buff. Took 14 hours. That's 14 hours well spent though. Wyatt said I got pizza orders set up for when the next test drops. It's tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. How are we looking for tomorrow, Ollie? Ollie, what can you tell the folks about what's changed for tomorrow? Do you have an easy cut and paste? Brown Butcher said, I remember the meat being bigger. If I had $1. Yeah, if you don't mind typing something up, I'll read it out for people that are curious about tomorrow's test. Hey Fielder, happy Friday to you too. And so Ollie said we have lots of changes on the back end. Performance of the server should be much better. We still have some interpolation issues between client server at high load. And you may see some stuff being jerky at 200 plus users in a zone. However, as far as I could tell, it's visual only. All other interactions are good. Thanks for starting to test early Saturday morning. I know it's way off from your hours. I mean, it's 1 p.m. So that'll be 7 my time, 8 Ollie's time. That's not too bad for us. But I mean, the majority of the teams over in your time zone. So. Jeez. See if I get in. Playtest tomorrow. Playtest tomorrow. No plan at the moment for it to go all weekend that I know. All right, let me try this one more time. Would be nice to decide how long it's going to run so I don't have to wake up super early, shut it down like last time. I think that's often a bit of a, we call an audible based off of what's going on with it though, right? Ollie said that is true. I try not to lie. I am ready for adventure. So I've grabbed latest. I have not restarted Unity or anything, Ollie. But I've got the feeling I'm not going to get in. It's not letting me in. Any ideas on this one, Ollie? Do I just need to wait longer? My hierarchy changed. Maybe it's coming. Do we know if we're getting our tunes or we get to make new evil tunes? You should be getting your tunes, I thought. Was it? It's happening. Fallen Pass is loading. My zone hierarchy looks weird. It does. But it says Fallen Pass is loading, so we're making progress. It's happening. Lush Kek? Yes. We're gonna run a little stress test tomorrow. Here I am. I'm in here. Got curious and was looking up what time is Yulong dot max value. Seems it's approximately the year 300 billion. When is the heat death of the universe? You think it was yesterday? Makes sense. Ignore the frame rate. It's just because I've got, I mean, my system is maxed out, and I'm playing in editor right now, real quick, just to kind of look at some stuff. The stress test kind of reminds me of when we used to take the kids to the pool and we'd have to leave. I'd tell the kids, get out, and the kids are always like, 5 more minutes, Dad. Tomorrow everyone would be like, 5 more hours, please, Ollie. Yep. Every single time. I mean, it's a good sign if people are like, hey, 5 more hours, please, and they're not like, yeah, all right, this is fine, seen it, I'm done, I'm good. Is there anything as an individual I can do to help the project? I know you guys don't take money, so all I can really do is sub to Twitch channels. Yeah, sub to some of the guys' channels. I don't take subs just because I live in Germany and there's some concerns with tax law here and shit like that. So we stopped taking the stop taking subs on this one. But the other guys stream, so definitely hit up the other guys. Check out what they're doing. Follow them. Be sure to follow us in Discord. Follow the notifications for the various streams in Discord so you don't miss them. You know, we were talking about it earlier in the stream, but we're gonna ping the community a little bit more and see how people feel about whether or not us selling merch before the game actually goes into early access, because we were planning on just waiting until the game's in early access to sell merch and stuff. But if folks are if you do not feel like that's breaking our vow of celibacy on the cash front, then that might be something that we could do. But we want to be super careful with that. We don't want to, after all these years of saying we don't want to take anybody's cash, we don't want to. What are they smuggling? Great. Yeah, I mean, we're excited to get the, could just do it in a not-for-profit way, like sell at cost. That would defeat the purpose. We would be actually using the cash if it came in. And since, you know, since at that point we would actually want to make sure that we've got bookkeeping covered and our tax responsibility and all that stuff. Yeah, we'd be kicking off the process we talked about before, where we'd start we'd publish all of our revenue numbers and show you where we're spending the cash and stuff. So really enjoyed Jimmy's animation streams. Can't remember what his Twitch stream is. I think he only did it once. Yeah, I thought he only did it once as well. I'm trying to think because he doesn't go by that handle in Slack. I'm trying to. I thought it was like Water from Stone or something like that. Nah. I mean, if you think those are the same things, right? Like if you think selling merch is the same thing as selling like a founder pack or something like that, then we'd probably, that would be a vote against it. That would be a no-go. Yeah, I mean, the general consensus seems to be that people would be into it, and since you're getting something, it's not that big of a deal. But, there he is, Water from Dust. Shit. I was like, I thought it was Stone. There's Jimmy. If you start streaming regularly, I'll add you to my streaming reminder button. Cool. All right. People are animating. I need to, while I'm thinking about it, maybe fix that on. So maybe we'll run some surveys and stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a survey on Discord right now. In the, is it? I don't know that it's called survey channel. Is it? Yeah, it is. Surveys channel. So far, 260 people have answered it. And it is, what do you consider your foundational MMO experience? Nice seeing some of the variety there. I'd be more worried about quality. Yeah, so the thing is, it's unavoidable for us anytime soon. So it's the best print-on-demand service that I've been able to track down. We've tried some samples. The quality is, I mean, it's okay. It's print on demand. But what we're gonna do is, if we wind up, when we make the shop live, whenever that winds up being, we'll enable reviews. I think there's like per item review, so you can comment and say like, oh, I didn't like this, or the stitching's crooked, or whatever. And we want people to actually have that in there. And, you know, we want it to be very, people to be aware of like the issues. And we'll even like, we'll try to get samples of everything in advance, and we'll write up our own reviews in the item description, and we'll say, like, I've got this mug, right? Monsters in Memory mug, and it'll say like, you know, gradient isn't the best. And some of this stuff could be, as we get in there and the artists are looking at it more and more, maybe they'll make a better image or something that works better, and so we can iterate. But we'll put a note on every item that says like, gradient isn't the best, but it holds up well in the dishwasher, right? Like, basically we'll give a no bullshit account of our experience with the items. And then we'll leave reviews on, and we'll put a lot of disclaimers on the shop that say it's print on demand. It's not the best shit in the world, but until we confront a bunch of money to get stuff silk screened and blah blah blah, this is what we got. So we'll continue to always be very open. I would steal this and add it to my horde goblin review. That's funny. FP. All right. People moving around, good. They're doing their thing. Now I can come in here and place some props and stuff in theory. Dude, my Slack is just goofy tonight. Like, it's showing notifications that are stuff that I've already seen. I don't know why Slack's being so silly. Probably just need to restart it. I hate that when it happens when I'm streaming, because I'm always like, I want to make sure I'm staying on top of anything that may need my attention. And then I look down, there's a bunch of notifications that are false. Environment art check. Cool. Oh, I got some other guys. Let me go check on them real quick. Though, you know what? I don't want you to see them, so I'm not going to check on them during stream. There's some stuff going on in this zone that I don't want you to see. You got to find it on your own. I buy just a black t-shirt with Monsters and Memories logo on the front. Oh, yep. Those exist. Excuse me. Actually, I'm going to delete this checking out FP prop, false alarm, and I will see if I've got time to work on prompts tomorrow. But I don't want to get in there tonight and then need to check stuff in and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm excited. The zone's coming along. Can't wait till there's some ship. Can't wait till you're riding the ship here and you coming by here. Doot, doot, doot. Trying it. Heading up north. Cool. On that note, you know what? I think. Let's see. Let's see. All right, so we've got our stress test tomorrow. Be sure to remind folks when they're asking about it, when they're talking about it. We have a lot of new people that have joined the community. I think we've probably got like a extra couple hundred people in Discord just in the last few weeks since we mentioned the play test, the stress test. Do me a favor, those of you that have been around for a while and kind of know how it rolls, you know, like be sure to let people know when they're like, oh, this doesn't look right, or you know, this isn't working, or oh man, they're stressed, or whatever's going on. Like just do the thing that you guys do, politely let them know that we're in development, that stuff's not meant to be perfect yet. Point them to the right information, point them to the Discord, all that good stuff. And yeah, kind of just see how it goes. Keep an eye on our Discord tomorrow for news, all that good stuff. And let's see, is anybody from the team streaming? Anybody from the team about to stream? Yeah, there's a stress test tomorrow. No stream for Zukin today? Alright. Nicodemus is streaming tomorrow. Esan, cool. Glad you can make it tomorrow. What does the stress test actually test? It tests our network, server, and client performance. Oh, that explains that. I was curious about, I saw this texture somewhere else, and I was like, I didn't think it was a Marie texture. I think this is a Pattis substance texture. Maybe that's what was going on. You can tell by the bump. Any patch notes for class updates for tomorrow? I played Monk last test. It'd be nice to see if there are any updates. I don't think we have anything posted. I know Nick's been primarily focused on a bunch of other stuff in the last little bit. So it could be that it's very similar to haven't seen Goblin stream in forever. He's working on his own video game on Steam. He's working on multiple things. Don't worry, Goblin is still very actively engaged. As of, well, I mean, even earlier in the stream. You hear that, Goblin? If you're out there, people want to see you stream. Have you guys had any applicants to the environment artist position yet? Yep, a few. Cool. All right, guys. If nobody from the team is streaming, yeah. I think I've crashed. I've hit a wall. And I'm going to basically get ready to wrap up. Are the green circles mobs and arrows the way they face? Lines patrol routes? That is correct. The green circles are mobs. Their noses are the direction they face in. And those are patrol routes. And the big blue boxes are I looked and I saw that he was streaming, but he's playing like something, I don't know, it looked like Spacey or whatever. I didn't want to hop in just for a raid to like promote the play test tomorrow and then be like, and then have everybody peace out on him. I'd feel bad. Zukin, you should hop in there and tell him though. All right, I'm gonna say my goodbyes and then we're gonna see each other tomorrow. How about that? Your character should still be around. Let's see. Hi, Defiant Possum. Bye, Defiant Possum. Fractal Hats, see you. Brown Butcher, is wonderful seeing you. I'm not bullshitting. If you need me, reach out. You know where to find me. Thulon, see you. Monotonous, see you. And see all of you, hopefully. Yeah, tomorrow. 20 hours. Less than 24 hours even. 2 Chains, see ya. See you tomorrow. The Jar. See you in game. Yep. See you, Fielder. Be more. Have a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody up there. Saren, see ya. Thanks for being here. Death by Gnome, see ya, buddy. Primus, I'm going straight to bed after this. Probably checking the news first. Thulon, if I didn't say anything, you're welcome. See ya, Darius. Liz Biscuits, see you tomorrow, my lady. Awaf, good meeting you. Tyson's dad, good luck. You guys be sure you can get installed, you can get registered, installed, all that stuff today before things even go down. Nerve-wrack, see you. Nerve-wracked. Shatarg, see ya. Chili Sauce, see you tomorrow. Dragon USMC followed immediately by Silver Dragon. You guys are hanging out, huh? See you guys tomorrow. Go Navy beat Army. I don't know what kind of nonsense that is. Poop Maker. All right, I'll see you tomorrow then. The Dragons of the World unite. All right, guys. I think that's it. It looks like we covered everybody. I will see you guys at the stress test tomorrow. If you're not in our Discord, you need to be. Yeah. And that's just kind of the deal. Doubler. Peace, my friends. I'm gonna dig up Streamlabs and push the button.